In a world painted with the hues of myth and whispers of magic, there lies a legend as old as the mountains themselves, the legend of the Firebird. Every 100 years, this magnificent creature, a living flame against the sky, concludes its life in a brilliant blaze, leaving behind nothing but a handful of shimmering ashes. These are no ordinary ashes. They hold the power of a single, potent wish. But this gift is reserved only for a heart untainted by greed or selfishness, a heart that is truly pure. Our story begins in a small village nestled at the edge of the whispering woods, a village living under the shadow of a creeping silence. Here lived a young girl named Alara, whose world was a tapestry of sounds, scents, and textures, for her eyes had never seen the sun. Her greatest joy was her younger brother, Leo, whose laughter was once the village's favorite song. But a strange, creeping illness had stolen his voice, leaving a silence more profound than any Alara had ever known. The doctors shook their heads, the healers offered remedies that failed, and despair began to settle like a heavy fog. But Alara had grown up on the tale of the Firebird. She remembered her grandmother's words, a soft melody in the dark, the ashes answer only to a selfless plea, my dear. As the 100th year approached, a fiery glow began to pulse deep within the woods, a sign that the Firebird's cycle was nearing its end. While others saw only the danger of the coming blaze, Alara felt a flicker of hope. She would find those ashes. She would wish for Leo's voice to return, to hear him laugh and sing once more. Her decision was made. With a small satchel of bread, a canteen of water, and a heart full of desperate love, the blind girl stepped into the woods towards the growing inferno, guided by the warmth on her skin and the hope in her soul. The journey was more perilous than she could have imagined. The familiar forest path she knew by touch was gone, consumed by advancing flames. The air, thick with smoke, stung her lungs, and the crackle of burning timber was a constant, menacing drumbeat. She navigated by feeling the heat, a terrifying guide that pulled her deeper into the heart of the fire. Soon, she stumbled into a clearing where a family of foxes were trapped, their escape route cut off by a wall of fire. Their frantic yelps tore at her heart. She could have passed them, saving her strength and time, but that wasn't who she was. Remembering a small stream she had crossed earlier, she painstakingly retraced her steps, filling her small canteen again and again, dousing a narrow path through the undergrowth until the foxes could scurry to safety. Their grateful nudges against her leg were all the thanks she needed. Further on, her path was blocked by a great, ancient oak, its bark groaning as flames licked its roots. A voice, ancient and deep as the earth, rumbled from the tree. "Turn back, little one. This fire consumes all. Your quest is foolish." It was the spirit of the forest, weary and in pain. "I cannot," Alara replied, her voice steady despite her fear. "My brother, he has lost his song." The spirit sighed, a sound like rustling leaves. "Your heart is kind," it whispered, "but kindness alone may not be enough." As she spoke, a burning branch crashed down, blocking her way. Undeterred, Alara felt along the scorched earth, her hands raw, until she found a cooler, unburned hollow beneath the tree's massive roots, a hidden passage. The spirit of the oak remained silent, as if in awe of her resolve. Finally, guided by an intense, purified heat, she reached the heart of the forest. There, in a scorched, silent clearing, was a nest of embers that pulsed with a soft, silver light. The ashes of the Firebird, they felt warm, like the last trace of a gentle sunbeam. As she knelt, cupping the ethereal dust in her hands, the world fell away. All she had to do was wish. "Please," she whispered, her thoughts flying to Leo, to his silent smile, to the joy his voice would bring. But as she formed the words, another sound reached her, the groaning of the dying forest, the memory of the trapped foxes, the sorrow in the ancient oak's voice. She saw, not with her eyes, but with her heart, the devastation around her. A world without birdsong, without the rustle of leaves, without the scent of damp earth. What good was one voice restored if the whole world's symphony was silenced? In that moment, her wish changed. "I wish," she spoke, her voice clear and strong, tears tracing paths through the soot on her cheeks, for the forest to be reborn, for the trees to grow, the streams to flow, and for all its creatures to have a home again. The ashes in her hands flared with a brilliant, white light, so bright that for a fleeting second, Alara thought she could see. The light swept outwards, a wave of life that pushed back the flames, nourishing the scorched earth. Green shoots instantly broke through the blackened ground. The air cleared, filled with the scent of rain and new life. Alara felt a gentle hand on her shoulder. She turned to find a majestic figure, shimmering with the colors of a dawn she had never seen. The reborn Firebird. Your heart is the purest of all, it sang, its voice a melody of 1,000 chimes. Your brother will have his voice. Your sacrifice has brought balance not just to him, but to all. When Alara returned home, the first thing she heard was Leo singing a song of a magical bird, and a brave sister, his voice clear and bright, echoing through a forest that was already beginning to heal. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more tales from the embers of imagination. We'll see you next time.